What's happening, everybody? It's your man damednydc. Two mics up. You know what? It's Monday again. We back, brand new episode, and look, I'm excited. We're coming around that time of year. It's the holidays. Uh, you know, times is changing. The weather's starting to change. A couple of weeks ago we talked about our energy. And how it changes sometimes as we go through the seasons. Well, today's guest is a friend, someone that I've had the opportunity and pleasure to get to know over the last several months. She's right here in the harbor. She's doing some great work. When I say great work, it's all about building up our energy, our positivity. Can you feel my vibe, y'all? I need y'all to do this a couple of times so you get your energy right. I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to bring today's guest here to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to Toni Tomlin. Toni, I've talked to Duff. I got my energy right because I knew you was coming. And I want to go ahead and give you a second. Please go ahead and take a moment to introduce yourself to our audience.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Damon. So everybody, I'm Toni Tomlin. I am the owner and founder of Faith to Felicity. We're a lifestyle brand that focuses on positive energy. We really want to be a part of everyone's journey to positivity, love, faith, all of those good things. We've got a store, opened up our first retail location at the harbor last year. And when you come to our store, you're able to create your own bracelet, design your own gemstone bracelet. We have parties there. We have lots of great, just all kinds of goodies for positivity.
And see, I told y'all, see, ladies, we get into that positive vibe. We're going to get our energy together. And as we take this journey, Toni, I always like to ask when I open up, hearing all of the great things that you're doing in the harbor with your new store. But what was that moment? Like, what was that pivotal moment for you that said, this is it? And what brought about Faith to Felicity? How did that inception come about?
Yeah. Okay. So it's a really long story, um, but I will abbreviate it for the audience here today. So my journey really started, just having gone through a really bitter divorce and kind of dealing with that. At the time, I had young boys. So being a single mother, as well as working in a very toxic work environment. And so my mother was there to support me through all of that. And then a couple of years after my divorce, my mother went in for carpal tunnel surgery and didn't come out. Wow. So she had like a heart attack and some other things. And that just really threw me through a loop, threw my children through a loop. They were teenagers at the time. And, I just felt myself falling into a very deep depression after losing her because, that's my best friend, grandma, my support network. And then after that, my son, he was a senior at the time, was crossing the street and got hit by a car. So he had to get medevaced and put back together. And oddly enough, he went to the same hospital that my mother had died in. And so my trauma was exacerbated. So, after all of that, I just felt like, I couldn't make it. I felt like I was losing it. I felt really deep depression. And, I just didn't want to be here anymore. But, I know that God has something better for me or had something better for me. That's and right. So I fought my way through, the perils of mental health issues, basically. And this was kind of around, COVID was like the icing on the cake for this situation. We're isolated. You can't really get to a therapist or anything like that. Right. And so I had to find a way to like bring myself out. And I found stones. I found energy healing. I started reading about it, and I went to a Reiki massage. And when I had that Reiki session, I tell you, I was a skeptic, but
Hmm.
once I finished that session, I felt this weight of pressure just ease out of my body. And to that point, I began to do more with energy healing. So,
Hmm. That's quite all right. That's a very, I mean, that's a very, it's a moving story. And I can relate. Sometimes we have things that happen in our lives that really drive us and push us to a place in space that maybe at one point you would have never thought um, you would be in, especially as an entrepreneur and a business owner. So, I your story resonates with me. I have a similar story.
mhm.
Um, but within that, though, now that you found your place in space and through that trauma and everything that you've gone through, really, what do you see as your mission then and your vision with faith to felicity for others?
Yeah, and that was the important part. That's what really kicked it off because I know that in our community, Black and brown communities, we don't necessarily gravitate to energy healing and stones and
Mm,
Reiki healing. And so I just wanted my path and journey to wellness to be an example for someone else. And so, when you're in that cycle of the same behavior, getting the same results, it might be time to try something new. And
mm-hmm.
so I just wanted to be that phase for Black and brown women to say, you know what, this other stuff ain't working no
Right.
more. Let me find out what this is about. Let me just take a step and read some material because, unfortunately in our community, stones equates to evil. And
Right.
so,
Right.
there, as a Christian woman, it was a challenge when I first began to
Mm-hmm.
really come out and say, this is how I am using these products to govern my life. So
Right.
um, I want to be the example and just, an inspiration for people who are trying to find their way.
I love that how you really tight because I again being on the outside like so a lot of us in the black and brown community we have a lot of those um, I would say faith biases and different misconceptions, right?
Right.
I'm curious to know, like, what are some of the other misconceptions outside of faith that maybe you've experienced when talking to people about crystal healing or in alternative therapy? And, you know, not to say you want to sway anybody or even sell, but like, how do you present that to someone who's really, I don't want to say down on it, but
Yeah, the skeptics are out there, and the
mhm,
skeptics are real, right?
you're
And
right.
so I just believe that when you are met with a tool, you try to use a tool, right? But it's all in how you use it too. It's
Mm,
all in your personal mind, your space, your mindset. If you don't think it's gonna work, it ain't gonna work. And that's just like starting a
that's right.
business. If you don't believe it is gonna work, it's not gonna
Right.
work. And this is where your faith comes in. And
Hmm.
so what I tell people, we do get them in my store periodically who are like, I don't know, does this really work? And I
Right.
always encourage them to read about it, read about the
Mm,
history of these particular things. This is science more than it is
mm,
religion.
hmm.
This is science more than it is, culture. It's
Right.
your everything is made of energy. And so I usually present that to people to get them to just take an opportunity to find out more.
That's very interesting. So man, I got a couple of questions here. Like when I just think about it, so that's one side of it. But then let's to the business side, and
Mhm.
you know, being in a location that you are, fabulous location.
Right.
How has things been? I know we're kind of coming out of the pandemic, but you opened up kind of during
I
the
did.
pandemic,
Yeah.
and I'm curious to know how have you seen things change, for the good or bad, now that we're kind of coming out on the other side.
Yeah, going to the harbor was a very deliberate decision of mine because I remember, the Gaylord is there and we had a lot of conferences. There are a lot of conferences that come. There are a lot of travelers that come.
Hmm. Hmm.
And, in my early career, I remember going to a conference to a city I'd never been before and kind of wandering around to see what's out there. And so what we have the benefit of people coming to our store who are wandering and looking. And on a lot of times, they may be in a headspace where they're thinking about something that's happening at home. They
mm,
might be, and I've had a few people who have talked to me about major decisions they make, or they're going into a surgery, or they're needing something to help them feel better.
mm,
And a lot of times it's really the positive energy that we provide.
mm.
If they don't buy a stone, that's okay. If
Right,
they buy
right.
a necklace, we like that, but because we want them to carry that energy with them. If they design a bracelet, that's wonderful too. But a kind word,
Right,
really,
right.
for a person who is visiting a city, they may not talk to anybody else during the day, but they come into our store, have a great conversation, and they leave out with some information and positive energy that follows them.
Mm. And that's very important because we really don't. I don't want to say we don't have enough, but we're all still, I think, spiraling as
Hmm.
we all come out of this pandemic. And a
Right.
positive word and a positive, sometimes it's a smile,
Hmm.
makes all the difference in the world. So tell me, Tony, like, how do you, your staff and your team, like, how do you stay sometimes? Because I know it's got to be hard. You've got a lot of weight on your shoulders. What are some of the things that maybe you do or share with your team to, continue that positive energy so that they can go ahead and spread that to the patrons and customers that come through your door?
Yeah, that's a good question, because it is challenging. In my store, you will see on the back of the wall, it says, "You got this," right?
Okay.
Just
All
three
right.
little words. And every time I personally go in there, it is a personal reminder to me that I am blessed enough to have an opportunity to provide this to people. And the young people that work with me are amazing. They really are. They're very upbeat and positive. But, we all have our challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And so when those things happen, I remind them about their energy and why we're here, right? And so that usually perks them up. But sometimes it lingers a little bit. And I'm a hugger, so I'm a mama. Hey, come on, give me a hug, bring it in.
Right.
Let's
Right.
talk about it. Let's go walk and sit across from the water, and let's kind of work through it, because of course every day is not perfect.
Yeah.
But when we're in the space, we need to present ourselves in a way that we are an inspiration and a bright light for somebody coming through the door.
Mm,
So, yeah, just a
I
lot of
love that.
positive. I'm the most optimistic person you'll ever meet, probably.
I love that. I love that positive energy. So, ladies and gentlemen, look, we're going to keep this positive energy going because
Mhm.
I want to take a moment to step away and give some positive advertising to our sponsors here at Two Mics Up, who have been a huge help to our continued success and growth. So, look, don't go away. We'll be right back after this short pause for the cause. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back out the break. We sitting here, we chopping it up with Toni Tomlin, CEO, founder of Faith to Felicity, the whole cafe. We just gonna call it, we just the whole cafe, everything's going on down there, y'all. So at the cafe, Tony has all types of jewelry, all types of paraphernalia to, as you can see, I'm smiling. Get your energy up, get you right, get you motivated to go ahead and tackle the day, tackle your problems and your issues. So, Tony, with that being said, like, tell me, like, what type of jewelry can the patron come in and find? You know, and what type of stones, bracelets, necklace? Let's talk about that. Let's get into the jewelry part.
Sure. So one of our main features at the Crystal Cafe is our bead wall. So when people come into the store, immediately to their right, there are strands of beads. So when I say beads, I mean tiger's eye, rose quartz, carnelian. If you're into stones, you'll know exactly what I mean. But there are about 25 to 30 stones that are on the wall for you to design your bracelet. So the way it works is the person would select their stone based on the energy that they need for that time. There is no science to it necessarily. And so a lot of people ask us, well, what do I pick? We do have them partitioned out in different sections. So love and happiness, peace and prosperity, and protection, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
are they're categorized like that. So if a person is looking for something particular, it can be guided to that section. So that's the first thing that you'll see, the gem bar. And secondly, we have loose stones that will be wire wrapped into a necklace pendant. We've got gemstone bracelets that are pre-designed. We have necklaces, we have earrings, and all of our products, 95% of them are handcrafted.
Oh wow.
I'm the principal jewelry maker in my store at this time. So if I'm not at the store, I am at home working in the basement getting jewelry ready, which I have to get back to today. But yeah, so those are the type of jewelry pieces you can find. We also have a few rings in there. We also have some wire wrap design. So there's a little bit of something for everybody once you come through our doors.
So look, I love the variety, and you know, you have to, like I said, I know you wear multiple hats.
Yeah.
But I know we were talking prior to, you know, you are in the process of working on trying to expand some things so that, you know, especially in that jewelry design
Right.
area. So what would that look like, or what will that look like? Will that be more variety and more features, or you know, what's going to take place for you over the next couple of months in that area?
Oh yeah. So well, it's a couple of things. So we opened up what I've titled the collective, where we are bringing other makers in the area, in the
Hmm.
DMV area, to the store, and that includes a wire wrapping professional. I mean, this lady is bad. She did a whole wire wrap bra with stones
Wow.
in it, and I was
What?
like, I was blown away.
What? 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 That's
Yes.
creative. Whoa.
Right, right. So we've got another variety because I personally like jewelry that I can wear to happy hour, right? I like to sit
Hmm.
at, the bar and have somebody comment on my bracelet and talk about it and all of that. I don't really wear a lot of chunky jewelry, but a lot of my customers like that.
Right.
So to support that, we opened up the collective, and we found a wire wrapper. So that's really great. Also, we have an opportunity to go to a local mall. I won't say which one that is, that we're in discussion about. So we'll take the bead wall, that's expansion of that customization. It's the experience-based retail that
Hmm.
we really want people to enjoy and that people really do enjoy. And so that's kind of what that looks like for us right now.
We got a lot of things popping over there, Tony. You got a lot of things going on, and you said something that's really important to me, like the experience, right? Um, your shop is also an experience itself, and when I say
Mhm.
experience, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about services and activities. So, what are some of the other services or activities if, like you said, if somebody was to wander in, or if somebody wanted to schedule
Mhm.
something, could you talk about your activities and services?
Sure. So we offer what's called our sip and string, and our sip and string is where you and friends get together and we guide you through making a bracelet. And
Mm.
so it's about a 2-hour evolution. We include sweet treats and champagne. And so a lot of women who are celebrating their birthday or, bridal shower, a bachelorette party find this as a great event to do. But also, mother daughter, we've had fathers come in for Mother's Day with their kids to build a bracelet for them. And the important and the most memorable part of this is that it's unique to the individual. There
Mm-hmm.
will not be another one made,
That's
and
right.
it has meaning and intention behind it because the person who selected the stones had a specific purpose and they carried that purpose out, and it goes with them for,
Mm.
eternity,
That's
as
the
long
that
as
is,
the braces last.
that's a beautiful thing. I mean, that is really a beautiful thing, and I really hope, people, you're watching this today, or if you're listening to this, you're streaming this, you really walk away with that and share this. But I think, like I said, this is really something I think that we really all need right now, as we're coming back to some type of semi-normal. Sometimes you just need that, like I said early on, just sometimes a smile. But even like you said, if you have that bracelet, sometimes just that flick of looking at it or
Mhm.
touching it, can really mean so much more, um, at a time where you might be, you're having a serious thought or a deep thought or a dark thought. I think
Right.
it's really important. Um, I'm curious to know, Tony. So then, with everything else that you have on your plate,
Mhm.
we do have the holidays coming up. And I'm
Yeah.
curious to know, like, so what can, someone expect or look forward to seeing, when they come by the cafe during the holidays? Any special promos, any special things going on?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So we're getting ready for the holidays. We'll start off with our first holiday, which is we're celebrating our 1 year anniversary.
Congratulations.
We're celebrating and partying this weekend on Saturday, October 22nd, from 6 to 8 p.m. So that really kicks off our holiday season, if you will.
Hmm.
From there, we'll have wire wrapping in the store for people who want to learn how to wire wrap. We'll have stringing with kids events where we'll have a Santa Claus or an elf come in and kind of guide them with hot cocoa. And I really enjoy the holidays. I enjoy decorating and just the spirit of the happiness that's there, because it has been a rough couple years for all of
Hmm.
us, right?
Hmm.
And anytime that we have an opportunity to get together to celebrate life and make something tangible that reminds you of that experience, I'm all for it. So we'll have some promotion that will come out soon. Our website, for those of you who aren't able to get to the National Harbor, you'll be able to find some exclusive products that are only online, so that you can kind of have that a little bit of thing to walk away from that those in store won't count.
See, ladies and gentlemen, you can't go wrong here. I'm telling you, man. 2 mics up, you getting all these features here. And speaking of
Mhm.
online, and as we're getting ready to close this out, before we close out, I do want to give you the opportunity, Tony, to go ahead so people can get their credit cards together and they can go ahead and shop and get that special experience, not
Right.
only for themselves but for someone or someone's in their life that they love for the holiday. So take a few moments, please share your website and your social media, and we'll make sure we drop that down in the comments for the episode so people can also reach out to you that way as well.
Sure. So our website is www.faith, that's FAITH, the number two, Felicity, FELICITY.com. And we're on Facebook and Instagram as Faith to Felicity, and also as Crystal Cafe by F2F.
Hmm. So make sure y'all get all that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll put it like I said. You can read it in the notes. We're gonna make sure you can go ahead and write it down, and really go ahead and support. I mean, that's really what it's all about. We're asking you to go out and support, Tony and Faith to Felicity, the cafe. But more importantly, if you're here in the DMV, go ahead and make a visit. Take your friends, take your family, create an outing. I've been working, on some things that with some friends and family, trying to get our schedules together. I mean, I'm in the backyard. I've gotten to know Tony. I haven't gone to see Tony yet, but it's on my to-do list. We're gonna go ahead
Okay.
and take some pictures. We're gonna shout out. We're gonna do what we do down at the cafe. But please go out and support. It's really, she's doing a great service to our community, and it's really something that's positive, and that's what we're all about here at Two Mics Up. Tony, before we go, I do want to ask: is there anything else that maybe I did not ask or did not you didn't get a chance to share? Because I want to make sure you use your time to share anything else. Is there anything on the horizon? Can we expect? You're talking about malls and one shop. Are we potentially looking at one or two more in the near future?
Well, the
Yeah.
future, the future is very bright. I will say
Good.
that the future
Good.
is bright. Um, what I'd like for people to know about Faith to Felicity is that we are spiritual. You know, a lot of people come into our stores and they see Faith to Felicity and they ask, "Well, what is it? Who is Faith and who is Felicity?" It really is your faith leads to your happiness. That's what
Mm,
it is. And so, you know, we believe in, you know, God, and we believe in the universe. We believe that all good things are great, right? And the bracelet, the jewelry is a visible reminder of those things, you know,
yes,
as
indeed.
people are going about their day and they're trying to make changes. Affirmations matter. And so when you buy a bracelet, whether it's from us or from anywhere else with a gemstone, just remember to, you know, have an affirmation that goes with it that says, you
Mm,
know, I am confident, I am strong, I am proud, whatever it is. But when you look down at it, let it be your reminder that God got your back, and
mm.
you know, you
Look.
you shall succeed. So that's,
Mm.
you know, my little 2 cents for the day.
No, it's not even 2 cent. All I'm going to do is just I'm gonna even we're gonna put a period on it, and we're gonna call it that because there's really nothing else for me to say. That was the perfect way to close out today's conversation and episode. Tony, thank you so much for
Yeah.
sitting down with me, taking the time out. I wish you nothing but continued success. I too will be making a visit and visits. So I will be seeing you soon,
All
and
right.
I look forward to staying in touch.
All right. Thanks, Damon. I appreciate the opportunity. Much success to you too. I'm going to get on that sponsor board, though. I promise you that.
Hey, whenever you're ready, I got you. We'll go ahead and make it happen. We'll go ahead and create something for you, and continue a positive working relationship. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. Have a great evening.
Thank you too, sis. Ladies and gentlemen, so that's it for today. This is what we do here, Two Mics Up. You can follow us online at www.twomicsup.com. You can follow us across all our social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Two Mics Up. And if you are still watching this on YouTube, that's cool. But make sure you go down there, you hit that thumbs up, go ahead and hit that bell so you can be notified by all the newest content coming to you from me here at Two Mics Up. But make sure you go check us out. We on Mogul TV. Hey, Roku, Amazon device, Roku TV, go ahead and download it. Or you can just go online to the moguls.tv, check out all the newest content, all the past shows from me here at Two Mics Up, and check out my network. My network, man. We got a whole bunch of influencers, podcasts, positive energy, faith, health, and wellness. You name it. It's all on Mogul TV. Go check us out. Like we always do at this time, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, stay blessed. Mike's out.
007.